terms of interest and commercial success, I would say that they'd have to be in the top 4 or 5. I mean, it's very difficult to say, but clearly there are very few acts I would feel comfortable putting ahead of them. They're certainly in the very top level of 3 to 5 acts in the world.
They give you that same great rock and roll show, but then they give you the message as well. And you walk out being genuinely touched. And that's why I'll go back again tonight. And that's why I see so many faces there for 3 nights. These people stood out in line not for 1 night's tickets, they stood out waiting for 3 days' tickets. And we'll probably see them in New York City as well. So it's the emotion that you get from a U2 show, which takes it into that next realm that you don't get from so many shows. There's only a handful, maybe Bruce Springsteen, well, I know Bruce Springsteen is one, but only a handful of artists can do that.
I would say that if it were a stock you could invest in, I would say that in this popular music business where things tend to disappear quickly, this is the other side. This is really the blue chip, like a Bruce Springsteen. And again, because of the strength of live appearance, they should be here for a long, long time. I would say that this is an act that's going to be around for 10 years more. It's an act that's going to be here for a long time.
The seal was put on their success 2 weeks ago when Time magazine had the band on the cover and described them as the hottest ticket in rock. Only a handful of performers have achieved the distinction of a Time cover. For rock fans, a more important accolade is the current cover of Rolling Stone. U2 have made that coveted cover twice. U2 give much of the credit for their success to their manager, their mentor, their friend, Paul McGuinness. He has ensured that the 4 will never have to worry about money for the rest of their lives.
Have you any idea at this stage what the gross for the tour will be?
I've got a very good idea, but that information, I'm afraid, is privileged, because remember always that you 2 are my clients, and these are their affairs we're talking about, and I wouldn't be at liberty to give you figures.
We would be talking in hundreds of millions, though, would we not? Gross.
Hundreds of millions gross. Well, I mean, the gross sale of the records, I mean,
It's big money.
It's big money. Yeah.
What happens to that money? I mean, there are obviously those in Ireland who are going to imagine that it's buried in the Cayman Islands or in offshore accounts all around the world. What actually happens to the money?
Well, the basis of Irish taxation is extremely simple. If you're an Irish resident, you pay tax in Ireland on your worldwide income, and you're not allowed to have overseas deposits, and we don't. Obviously, we don't pay any more tax than we have to, and we are vigorous in protecting ourselves, if you like. But I think everyone knows all our businesses are based in Ireland, and that's where we pay all our tax.
Would you say you're a significant contributor to the Exchequer?
I would think so, sure, yeah.
The entourage of 60 who put the show together are largely Irish. They're super efficient, and they have to be, because it costs £42,000 every day to keep the band and hundreds of tons of equipment on the road. This first leg in America has got to work if they're to sell out 40 more American dates in the autumn when they return from Europe. But contrary to popular mythology, manager Paul McGuinness told me that touring does make money for the band.
For a comparatively small organisation, we earn a lot of overseas revenue. So in terms of our profitability, we're probably the most profitable company in Ireland, but in terms of the overall numbers, it would be less than that.
A lot of money, therefore, is repatriated. A lot of it goes to the tax man. But there must be some plans for money. I mean, do you intend to develop, say, in the show business area or in the business area in Ireland?
Well, investments that individual members of the band make are their business. Sometimes we do things together, like European Grid Systems is an investment made by all 5 of us. We have, obviously, other activities.
What is your European Grid Systems?
European Grid Systems is the company that builds stages and roofs, if you like, and supplies them to big outdoor music events around Europe. And that has been set up over the last year or so.
But do the band have ambitions? For example, Prince has just built himself a huge recording complex in Minneapolis. Do the band have showbiz ambitions, maybe radio stations when local radio comes underway? Or
I think, yes, we're certainly interested in the development of local radio. I think we're interested as well in the development of the infrastructure in Dublin, which is well and truly started now.
You know, just because sometimes feel just because we sing in tune that people feel that we can answer all their questions. And I don't know about you, but this is the way I found my way, being in a rock and roll band. Edge and Adam and Larry. You've got to find your own way, and anyway, I still haven't found what I'm looking for. I have climbed highest mountain, I have run through the fields on land to be with you, on land to be with you.
Joshua Tree is big, you've got a hit single, you have more hit singles to come, obviously, from this album. But I suppose the real question is, at this point, where do you go from here? What next?
Next record, better record. I don't know. I mean, we're talking about the next record already. What it's going to be like, who knows, until, you know, for another couple of years we won't probably know. But we're learning all the time. I think we're getting better, which is something that few groups seem to be doing. So I think the next record will be one step closer to what we've always aimed for, which is like this perfect record. That's really been our goal from the beginning. It's not been the cover of Time magazine or #1 in America, which we're having now, but our goals are artistic goals, getting to that level where the songs are as good as we can possibly make them.
You know, people sort of say, you know, what's U2 about and all that kind of stuff. And it's really, you make a record and then you've got to take it out and stand in front of people and perform it. And if it's not a good record, you know on the first show. And who wants to spend a year playing bad songs to people? So that's, you know, that's the most focused aspect of our responsibility, is to actually produce good records. And after that, anything else is a bonus. But that's our primary motivation for being anywhere at any given time.
I don't think it's something that I'll stop. I don't think I'll say one day, okay, well, I've made my money now, and now I'll go and you know,
Garden.
Yeah, or become a banker or whatever. You know, I'm a drummer, and that's what I'll be till the day I die.
I don't think U2 have done their best work yet, but it's, you know, it's very easy to quantify, if you like, what's being achieved in terms of numbers of records and numbers of people played to, and assume that has to be bettered the next time. And by better, people mean bigger. To become bigger than this is obviously possible. We could be playing these enormous football stadiums in America, and we're not. This American tour is strictly indoors, with the big 20,000-seater. All right, the 20,000-seater ice hockey arenas probably don't seem like small places, but
that's by choice.
That's by choice. In Europe, the choice simply isn't there. In Europe, those 15 to 20,000-seater venues don't exist, and therefore we're playing outdoors in the summer in Europe.
Someone said to us last night, well, many people said that the band was the best rock and roll band in the world at the moment. Someone else said they would be, but the Rolling Stones haven't really broken up yet.
That's quite a compliment. Well, yes, I agree.